Alola! I'm the official name rater. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. I guess we're ending right here then. Or maybe here, because that has that. So, okay, we'll go to that. And I look at the first page of Google, review the nicknames, give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Minior. And this is a Pokemon that I actually, up until just now, didn't know how to say its name, because I've said a couple times in the past where it's like I couldn't read it correctly, so I didn't know what its actual name was. And now that I have it in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was like Minorer or something like that. And I'm like, oh, there's only one R? It's Minior? Oh, okay. I do kind of like the idea of naming it after fruits depending on the corresponding color you've got. And I'm not going to look through all the colors, just a heads up for you. We're just Minior, that's it. But the idea, like, I think Minior is going to be real easy to come up with cute names for. And, you could do lemon, grape. I think there's a red one that could be apple. I also like come at me, bro. I hate stuff like that normally, but that's at least a good joke. Would I use it? No, but it got a good response out of me. Popstar, that's fine. I actually use that one for Wigglytuff, because Popstar in reference to Kirby the planet being pink, but also in reference to the fact that Jigglypuff has the microphone and does the sing, so yeah, I mean, is it kind of wasted on Wigglytuff? Yes, absolutely, but fuck you, I'm doing it anyway, and you can't stop me. I don't Fire Emblem, so is Mitama a good name? To me, that just sounds like the name of some generic Japanese girl, and that's about it. I don't know if it's significant in any regards, but for the sake of highlighting it, I will highlight it for the Fire Emblem nerds out there. Starburst, I do remember when looking up this stuff back when I first did Alola before the channel existed, that there was a video, and these guys were like, oh, we're name raiders, and like, they had some sort of scale on like, oh, this gets a Master Ball or a Great Ball, depending on how much they like the name. And Starburst was one of the things they mentioned. And I like that, and I think that's good, because, it works with candy, food-based nicknames, different colors, star. So I think that's a really, really strong one as well. And before hitting record, I don't know why, I was just thinking about nerds as well, so if you wanted to do nerds and another different candy, there's that for you too. I also technically skimmed over Nova. Nova was what I had for my Flareon at first, and then I switched over, so I don't necessarily have a problem with the nickname Nova. I haven't used it since, but just acknowledging it. And then Dreamsicle, I don't know where that's from, but it sounds nice. It sounds like Creamsicle, but better. Rockstar was another one I had written down, and I don't remember. I don't think I came up with it myself. Maybe I did, because Kirby Planet being Rockstar is in, music. And also, it is a star that is rock. So it's a good name, and I think it's very strong and worth using. Luma is another one I have written down. This one I'm positive I didn't come up with, but it is a very easy concept to do. Luma's just, I don't know, it's a simple, easy one that you could work with. My mind also, because I guess I'm hungry or something. I was thinking about Starbits as well, but I'm like, nah, that's not nearly as good. You're better off just doing Luma instead. I like the idea of Kinder, but I don't like the idea of it on Minior. I think, you're going to need a Pokemon that's more egg-ish, which as of the moment we only have Execute, and that's still more coconut tree than anything, so maybe one day we can use that, and Kinder would be easy recommendation for a name, but I don't know if I would use it for Minior. Sozin's comment, because of, what was it? Avatar. I don't necessarily mind that idea, but I feel like with that, you want it to be red. Lemon Burst is another candy. You can use that for yellow ones. Now I kind of thought about Warheads. I'm in a food mood today. Wow, I really like Space Jam. Way to go. I think there's a few different space-based Pokemon you could use this for. I'm trying to think if we've seen this one before, because I feel like we probably have, and I don't remember it. So it's always fun to see something you've seen before and have an enjoyable reaction more than once. Nebula and Milky Way, I'm totally fine with. Milky Way kind of goes off more of the food thing that I'm obsessed with today. Both of those are good. I'm gonna acknowledge Haley, but I am gonna say Haley's not significant enough in my opinion. I understand Haley's comment, blah blah blah, but Haley's also just a generic name. That's just a regular person. At least Sozin's comment, I don't know any Sozins in the world. I could just be some made up name. So I think if you're gonna do that, Sozin's the better way to go. But Nebula and Milky Way are fine. Fortune cookie's kind of funny to me, and I like the concept of that. Like, I feel like that's a fun little fan art prompt to consider. And now reading that kind of makes me understand why Kinder was an option, because there's a toy inside. So, yeah, I get it now. I like the idea. I wouldn't use them as nicknames, but I like the idea, and I want the fan art. Hokalani I'm kind of okay with. It's very rare that we would see a Pokemon have a nickname recommendation based off the city that they're from. Usually it's trainer, but like Hokalani makes sense. It's where the observatory is. I want to say that's where they are in the anime when Minior is displayed in that episode. So that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm totally fine with Star. That is in reference from the Mario Party series, the little negative stars where they take them away. And it's actually quite a clever name because it's just Star, but the S is backwards. So I like that, but that's fine as a nickname. It's pretty simple. Space Odyssey I really like as well. That's a good one. It's a good song too. And I don't know, it kind of makes me think of like what other space-based songs or films there are, because like Bark at the Moon jumps to my mind, or Moonraker, but you know, those are moon, and you know, this is a star, so what can we do with that? But Space Odyssey is a good one. I used to have a teacher in university that I'd always make fun of and call him Major Tom in reference to that song. As far as I'm concerned, all of this is pretty much gibberish, so if any of this actually stands out to you and makes any sort of sense, then maybe it might, you know, could be a good nickname for you. The only thing that I feel is mildly familiar to me is just Rigel, just because I feel like there's some sort of pop culture joke about Rigel 7 or something, and I feel like that's Star Trek. I don't know, I never really watched Star Trek, so but that's that. It says it's a super giant star, so I mean maybe it's a bad nickname, but I'm just letting you guys take a look at this in case any of this shit matters to you. That's that though. I do feel that Minior actually has a lot of decent nicknaming potential, and we found some interesting ideas, most of it being related to food, but it was an okay episode. The spreadsheet literally just has Echo, and that's that, and I don't really care for that, nor do I really think that fits much at all. We do have one comment suggestion. It says going over astrological signs, which I mean, that's a fair idea. I have no problems with that. I think another thing, which I don't know why, it's probably not the best choice, but I did think about birthstones as well. But the thing is, birthstones, a lot of it is kind of just colors like amethyst, ruby, emerald, sapphire. So it's not the best, but I don't know. It was another idea that kind of popped into my head after reading this. As far as the highlights, the things that I wrote down, Starburst, Nerds, Milky Way, like we had a lot of food in there. Luma was an idea, and then Rockstar. Like, those are all fine, and I don't have a personal choice, but I do think based off of these, Rockstar probably would be the one that I default to the best. That's it though, so any ideas or suggestions you have for Minior, feel free to put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones you think are good, and I don't particularly have any sort of snazzy outro or joke or anything like that, but you know, tell us what you've used, what you'd recommend, Minior, nicknames, and ideas.